I did it. I got it. Started at 7 o'clock. That's what we're looking for. What is this? What has happened here? Oh, please. I feel like I should do that 20 times. I'm not gonna. Why? Unplug my microphone. There. But granted, those were for you. If you're around. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. That came out of nowhere. You're similar in the way that if Eva Williams is here, I get nervous, but in the best way. It's like, what just happened? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I'm going to have to do that at the end of the screen. I'm going to have to change it all now. Thank you. I haven't had to do that in a very long time, thankfully. But it is a pleasure to have to add a bunch of names to the outro of the memberships. Hopefully I remember how to do that. It has been a minute. I had to do that with editing software. I have new editing software and it's driving me up. Whoa! There's a lot of information, more than I possibly need. But anyway, we are here on Repeal Day. Isn't that nice? Greetings, my name is Brian. Welcome to KillCo Whiskey Musings. Exploring all at Syracuse University and the Burlington Co-Factory. Huh. Those are interesting options also. That's for you. Thank you for bringing time and attention here. Burlington Coat Factory is right next door to me. I can go there anytime I want. I went there recently. I was looking for something. And I wasn't finding it. I was looking for shorts in September? Around September? No. October. Wasn't finding it. Was it shorts? I feel like it was at some point recently. Whatever.
Hang on. Whoops. That was by accident. That's because I was bashing buttons. We are no longer Commander War. Thank you for that. You can tell I cannot. Unless I have my headset on. I don't know what I sound like right now other than myself. Unless we accidentally hit the button. Commander Worf. I like that. Worf voice filter. Zenboot, how is you? How is you? How are you this evening? We have two little drams we have here. And I was tempted to put like an extra whiskey as a goal. Like if we hit the goal, I'd have another little bit of whiskey. I think I'm going for I have to figure things out and I don't like it. I haven't put the music on. That's what's missing. I'm like, it's very quiet. Why? You didn't put the music on. I'm blind. Where is it? There we go. Our usual background noise. Shoot. Go. Loud. Nope. Make sure that's on the randomizer. And we're good. What I'm trying to figure out is... So a tablespoon is half an ounce. We have that set in our brain. But if I want to do half of that, how many teaspoons is it? This is, I have a feeling I know, but... Oh. 1.5 teaspoons equals half a tablespoon. That's annoying. I like it. The 1.5 teaspoons will be what I'm having out of 2 beverages. This is complicated, by the way. Now that I'm being very precise about how much I'm drinking. Teaspoons. It's pizza night. Peaky Blinders Prohibition recipe. Hey, there you go. That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. I thought bourbon and rye whiskey. So that's what I'm going with. Peaky Blinders was Irish whiskey, but I'm like, oh no, it's an American thing. America. And it's appropriate for two reasons. One, the first pour, you won't believe it. Midwinter Night's Dram, because it is frigidly cold outside. Not as bad as yesterday, but oh boy. I haven't been outside, so I don't know how cold it is because I was outside yesterday, and I know it's almost as bad, so I'm not going outside. I haven't gone anywhere but my apartment all day. It's glorious. I wish more people were able to do this. Just stay home. Do whatever. What do YouTube do? Emily Chambers also welcome. That's for you. Thank you for bringing your time and attention here. As always, is greatly appreciated. So we have a Midwinter Night's Dram for my rye, because it feels appropriate tonight to how cold it is. And then we're gonna have a little Elijah Craig single barrel pick by Irene Tan, and it's called Irene's Hug. And what else keeps you warm on a nice night like a frigidly cold night like this is a nice hug. And let's be very clear, this is 66.8%. And the rye is really? Huh. 49.3. I figured this was like 43, but hey, that's kind of nice. I wasn't expecting a higher percentage on a this kind of rye, but there it is. Bonaparte Whiskey, hello. That's for you. Thank you for bringing your time and attention here. Oh, those are fun. Virtual waiting room for mommy artists. Those are great. I need to have one of those at some point. And I say that only because I think it's a yearly thing with me now. Now that I'm at this age. But yeah, the last time I went was for like a checkup for medication I was taking. And they're like, I went in, I drove over there, was in the waiting room, got inside, went to see him, talked to him for like 5 seconds. You know, it's just like, how's the medication working out? Good. All right, I'll see you in a year. I didn't really need to be there in person for that. So I'll keep that in mind next time. It feels weird that that used to be the only thing we do. Like, you just have to go to the place and see the person. And now we have this era of, you want to talk to a doctor, boom. There you go. You have 5 minutes. All right, here we go. Tablespoons, 1.5 tablespoons is equal to hold on. 1.5 teaspoons is equal to half a tablespoon. And 1 tablespoon equals half an ounce. There we go. That's the end of the sentence. So to make sure I have approximately half an ounce of whiskey tonight, I'm doing all this. Treat your liver right, folks. Then you don't have to deal with stupid stuff like this. Oh, it smells good. Woo. Got a good old waft there. Just kind of went into the air. Make sure you tell me what you're drinking tonight. Again, if you just got here, Midwinter Night's Dram, specifically Act 9, Scene 3, if anyone's keeping track of that. And an Elijah Craig private barrel, picked by Irene Tan. So you know it's profi, and it's going to taste good. This is going to be very tricky. All right. Some of that spilled out, some of that went in, some of that went over. It's okay. These are approximations anyway. Came out there fast. All right, here we go. A little bit more. I know I'm like cheating on this because it pours out so fast, but there we go. Okay. 1.5 teaspoons of whiskey. Guy. We're gonna need these again in a little bit. I don't know if it's good or bad that these are metal. I feel a little sketchy about putting metal on glass, but as long as I don't do anything crazy to it, it shouldn't vibrate or break anything. I have whiskey on my table now. That's great. On my desk. That's funny. I guess it is a desk. What else would it be? There we go. We'll try to get a mark on that so I don't have to. So we're saying just at the very bottom, just before it starts to go out. That feels very sensual for some reason. Hello. Yeah, so get a good look. Well, thank you for all the emotes. I see that. Yeah. I know I can do like 1.5 ounces. That's easy. That's right in the middle. So trying to get just half an ounce. I need to remember that one too. That's not too bad. That's pretty easy. If I just have enough pours like this, I won't have to measure it anymore. That's the end goal, at least when it comes to whiskey. And being a whiskey sommelier, you got to know how to eyeball it. Well, cheers, everyone. Ad for pet-friendly sofa covers. All right. You don't have a pet. Not that I'm aware of. Donner Pass Whiskey, good luck with your appointment. Everyone here, cheers. Happy Repeal Day. I was talking with my friend Greg a little bit about Repeal Day earlier. He recommended a book, of all things, that I didn't expect to have happen today, about prohibition. And there was a lot of talk about government, because of course there was. They're the ones who enacted it. But my thought process, it's something I wanted to take on as a discussion, if you will, and which is why he brought up the book that he read that said a lot about prohibition, was that prohibition happened for a good reason. There was a lot of inebriation, death from alcohol consumption of varying sorts. You know, the ones like we have today. Liver disease, car accidents, suicides, and there's no other way for me to say that without being scared of the censorship and like, don't talk about that kind of thing. It's like, I get it, but we have to talk about that kind of thing, man. Jesus. What was my point? The point is, one, it passed, prohibition passed, so there were enough people who thought alcohol was causing problems because it was. If you think about the just drinking constantly, it seemed like a lot of people were doing it back then. I don't know that era, but I can think about the ease of access of alcohol and the no real regulations as far as like health concerns are. Like, I don't know what doctors were like back then. But I can see it being really easily out of hand, and especially the thing that made me made me pause on the whole thing was abuse of well, women, unfortunately, women and children. The males would get drunk. There's a stereotype of it. The man gets drunk and is like, abuse. Yeah, that was happening a lot. That's why it's a trope, because that's how things were. And enough people and enough women got the vote around that time, so that was a big change. They were like, we're done with this. You know what we can do? Because you guys have been freaking maniacs. Unfortunately, it did give rise to crime and other horrible things. Oh no. Oh no. Gotta be careful. Yeah. I've said it on the channel before. You gotta get the ones that have the little weird bit. That's unfortunate. There'll be another Redbreast 27 out there. It does suck though. Ugh. I still have a few advent calendar samples left from like 2 years ago, and I'm not sure if they're going to be good anymore. I feel like maybe I should use them this month, because I am in that weird phase of like, I am taking strict control of how much alcohol I consume, but also it's like I need to get rid of these. They're down here. That's why I'm pointing this way. And I don't want to toss them. And I need to do it because I'm going to lose track of the list. All the samples were being listed off day by day 2 years ago. 2 years ago? I didn't do a Flaviar last year, so it must have been the year before that. So it must have been 2023. Because that was the last advent calendar I remember doing. Or was it 2024? I can't think. I stopped for some reason, and I don't remember why. Because I didn't get the diagnosis until that August. Not this past August, but the year before. So it's 2025. It was in 2024 that I got a diagnosis and like, you need to stop. So it must have been earlier that year where I just didn't finish it because I was doing a Flaviar one. Maybe? I'll have to go look. I'll have to go look back at videos and streams I was doing. Because I do remember I was starting to go into like the month. I would have one of those samples and I have one like every month was the idea. Time is fluid. Time is... Oh, time is a concept, we'll say. It is something we created on our own, but it also existed before we did. Let's go down that tree, up that tree, down that tree, in that tree. Sitting with dogs. Oh, there you go. That's a nice thing. There we go. Then whatever I just spilled in there is the extra. Time is fluid. Fluid is whiskey. Whiskey is life. Cheers to that. Bam. I haven't had a sip yet. Very cinnamon forward. It's making me think of Christmas candy. Like hard candy that you would see. It's actually... I want to say grandma's candy, so they're like those hard candies you'd see in your grandmother's places, if those still exist anymore. That is something from my childhood. I don't know if grandmas have continued to carry on that tradition for the generations. I have candy, but it's not that, and I'm not at that age yet. It's making me happy. It's making me think of Christmas, and it's making me think of various baked goods, specifically, you know, cinnamon rolls with vanilla frosting, glaze. Oh yes. Ooh, that is spicy. Oof. You can see the moment when it hits right here. There's this little subtle shift in my eyes, I think, where it goes, ugh. That's very nice. Has anyone ever made eggnog? Like spiked eggnog? Terrible thing to say. I can use this rare yearly release of rye whiskey that some people really chase after because of the whole Midwinter's Night deal. And I'm like, we could make some good hard eggnog with this because we could. It would be delicious. So, to share my moment with all of you, because I was talking to my friend and he did recommend a book, which very like, what? Out of nowhere that was. It's called, whoop, okay, stop it. Trying to grab the, there we go, thank you. Last Call, The Rise and Fall of Prohibition by Daniel Okrent, O-K-R-E-N-T. There you go, 17 hours. He said it was a big book. And he did read it. I would not have. I don't know what reading is. Music's being specifically intent today. Skip this one. Trying to have a chill vibe tonight. It's the night before Christmas. No. It is Friday, meaning all of us are going to a weekend in various different ways. This is one of like the easy topics of conversation, and the one I use constantly if I have to bother talking to anyone. How's the weather? Because we're all affected by weather, and we always have something to say about it. For example, it feels like -3 degrees Celsius outside right now. Because it is -3 degrees Celsius, so that's nice. At least we're consistent. Yesterday, though, it was like -11 Celsius. It sucked. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for that level of cold just yet. December, you're starting off strong. Thank you. But now we have colder days, even colder nights. It looks like we're going to be staying in the 40s until Wednesday. Oh boy. I don't mind if it's a nice day, if it's a little overcast. The sun's coming out, it's fine. But once the wind chill kicks in, oh, that's where it all goes wrong. That's where it all goes wrong. Donk. Bum, 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 bum. That's what this music makes me think of. And of course, let me remind everyone about this. If you weren't here earlier, some of you may have gotten a membership. I'm going to have to 20 names to the outro now. I can't do it right now, obviously, because that was 5 minutes before the stream started. Once again, thank you, Patrick Greeny, for your continued support and your surprises. Oof. There you go. That's a good hour and a half. That's enough time. That really did get me going through the cross-country stuff. I listened to at least 2 books. Unfortunately, I had to pay up because you only get so many audiobook hours with the Overlord Spotify. Yeah. Some people are not very happy with that right now. And once again, let me remind you, if you are a patron or member, I guess I can do that right now. I'm going to update at least the channel. I think I've gone on to another book. We have an audiobook club, which is coming to a close for the year very soon. So that means the book I'm listening to at the moment probably will be the one that finishes off the year. Wild. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I just looked down. I'm like, wait a minute. Memberships don't show up. What am I supposed to do about that? How do I fix that problem? Because 20 memberships is a significant chunk of change. Doesn't even tell me how many. Or it doesn't tell me which ones. Probably the lowest. Yeah, so we got... looking at the names. Kathy Huey, Whiskey Mountains, Mr. Great Shot, Richie Z, Whiskey Shaman, 4-Leaf. Who else? What other names do I recognize? They changed the names now, so I can't tell who's who all the time now. Mark Emmernecker, there's another one. Many memberships were received. It is very spicy. It is a rye. The spice is nice, but it's a little overbearing. After the initial kick, it's nice. Oh, the burning. You'd think that'd be a warning. It burns your stomach. Yeah, well, it's hard alcohol. What do you expect? It tastes so good. It's a problem. I may even add an aside for audiobooks, because I am listening to one, but it doesn't count because it's done by my dad. And for those who aren't aware, Jimson Recordings on Audible? Yeah, on Audible, on Amazon. Go listen to those books. Those are all Papa KillCo's decades of audiobook creating. So if you want to listen to Papa KillCo read you a story, that's the way to do it. And the one I'm listening to right now is a very obscure one, but it's about the Black Regiment from the Civil War. And I'm listening to it so I can chop it up into chapters. That's the reasoning. It's an interesting story, if you can imagine that sort of thing. The Civil War and a black regiment from the north going down to the south. Although I haven't gotten to that part yet. Right now, it's just been talking about camp, being at camp. And it's I don't know if it's like an actual story, but it's written in a way of, and it might be, like I haven't actually dug into it at all, but it's being read as reports and a little bit of journaling almost from one of the commanding officers of the battalion. So it might actually be that. Do I know that for sure? I don't know. It would be pretty cool if it was. So I'll have to look into that. Not right now, Brian. Okay, well. And oh, also enjoy the full moon tonight, everyone. I was staring at it last night, and it was lovely. I did turn off my heat, by the way. If you weren't here on Wednesday, God, the days really blew together after a while. I had given myself a reminder that's going to show up at 6:30 every day till I tell it not to shut down the heat in my apartment because it's on all day and it goes off all night. Because if I'm in my bed, like surrounded by covers, I don't need the heat to be on. That's silly. I produce my own heat while I'm unconscious. It's very strange, but it's true. Heard this song so many times. Oh, and once again, I have been playing a lot of Arc Raiders and Dark Side. I haven't been streaming it, though. I should be doing other things, that's why. The reason is I should be doing other things. Like, for example, when I was trying to, just before I started the stream, I was attempting to make myself a web page. Blah. Yeah. Good stuff. I didn't watch it, but I think I know of it. I know Morgan Freeman. I know the names Denzel Washington and Matthew Broderick. I can't picture their faces at the moment. Because I don't feel like knowing the celebrities. I don't know if anyone else here is like that, but I don't know them. I know what they do. So I don't need to hear all the gossip and that kind of thing, which gets in the way when I'm around groups of people. They start talking about celebrities or rappers or that kind of thing. I'm like, you don't know them. Why do you care? Like, there are a few for me, but I don't feel like big celebrity status. Like, if I've seen them in movies, that's about it. Robert Downey Jr. is one of them, where I'm like, oh, he's done very well for himself. What would I do if I met him? I'd be like, hey, you look very actually, one of the things I want to do when I meet anyone who seems like they're a celebrity or someone of note, where they can be easily recognized by numerous people, just be like, you look familiar. Have I threatened you before? Which is a classic line from the Pirates of the Caribbean. And it works in so many settings. Thankfully, I have not met any celebrities, so I haven't had to say it. Yeah, I don't get it. Ha! That's hilarious. What are the odds? Well, someone liked it enough to use it as a prop. That's pretty good. It was on the big screen. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, a little bit about the book has been the concept of like an encampment of that size. It's talking about hundreds of people just being camped out waiting for orders. Blah. In that era, like not now, not like some 100-something odd people doing that right now. War, civil war. Yuck. In whatever weather showed up. I can't remember where they actually said they were stationed, though. I should probably remember that. It's fine. I'm listening to it just to chop it up into chapters. And I only just started, and because I forgot. I was supposed to do this a little while ago. And Papa KillCo just reminded me of it yesterday. And since I've been so fixated on the GoFundMe for the past month plus, yeah, everything else got pushed out of my mind. So now I'm going to have to finish that up soon and get it out ASAP. My only concern is that it was made on reel-to-reel, and I can tell. It would be hard not to be able to tell. We'll see. What are you guys doing for the weekend? Anything? I like to know what you're doing because I know what I'm doing, which is nothing. I'm going to stay in my apartment and stay warm and cozy. That is my favorite thing to do on the weekends. This is my recharge time because I have an active schedule every week. I used to try to have an active schedule every week. Hello. No. I'm getting weird notifications on my watch that I do not want. I might need to fix that. But having my usual routine. Everyone should be very excited for the 13th. Because out of celebrities that I like to hear about, one of my favorites, who I will be very sad about his death, because it's coming, is 1925 on December 13th. Dick Van Dyke was born. Delivery vans. Nice. Yeah, and Dick Van Dyke is hopefully going to be 100 years old on this upcoming Saturday. Not tomorrow, next week. And that has been popping up all over the place recently because he is a legend is wrong because that's something that's not, we're not sure if it's true, but he is a pioneer of the television era and humor. And he is one of the few people I got to respect and imitate as a young man, a young boy, when I used to stay up late watching Nick at Night. That was my fun. Mom and Dad let me stay up late and I'd fall asleep watching it on the couch. So I have infused into my humor and my being from a child Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, what else? Those are the two big ones. Those are the ones I still remember today. I think there are other ones, but I didn't like them as much. Oh, I Dream of Jeannie. That was one I seem to remember watching. Because because she was exposing her belly. Scandalous. What else? What do you guys used to watch? Like, what kind of younger days television did you guys watch at all? Because it was a very different time. And I'm very grateful that I got to be one of the people who grew up still with the classics. The classics, the very beginnings of the television world. And then they were hilarious. There's a lot of stuff I didn't watch and probably never will. But there were other shows that I watched. I don't remember which one. Like, there are ones I remember as like I knew of them, but I don't know if I watched them purposefully. So we have stuff like Welcome Back, Kotter, and Taxi. Those were things I watched when I was older, by the way. Not the ones I watched when I was younger. Hogan's Heroes. Bewitched. That's right. Bewitched was another one. That's right. I felt like, I said I Dream of Jeannie, and I'm like, what else was there that's similar in this specific category? The Mary Tyler Moore Show. That one was good. Mary Tyler Moore was a dream. She was a peach. I don't know if she's live. She might not be. MASH is one that I know of, but I don't think I watched it. It would have been a little bit beyond me. And I don't like war. I don't like military stuff. I know it was a comedy mainly, but I also know what it was medical, like the medical people who had to deal with the Vietnam War and all kinds of horrible things that happened there. So it was like a dark humor. Green Acres vibe, yeah. Green Acres is the place to be. I don't know the lyrics. Kathy Huey, hello. Kathy Huey, you were gifted a membership today. Enjoy. By the legendary Patrick Greeny, who comes in and just generosity bombs the area. Stay warm out there, Kathy. It's fucking cold. Korean? I don't know. I think of that, and I think of Vietnam first because that's the one I remember my uncle having to be in. Korean War I know frighteningly little about. But I don't like war, as I said. It's why I don't play Call of Duty, among other things. Heroism military stuff, not my favorite. Have I played those games? Once upon a time, yeah. Beverly Hillbillies, yep. The Addams Family, the original stuff. The classics. Although my official Addams Family was the movies, and they did it right. They did it exactly right with the movie. Charity striping, yeah, basically. All right, going on to our next little pour. We're going to approximately 1 tablespoon. And 1 tablespoon is half an ounce. So we are officially having half an ounce. And I have officially have... I don't know. I get very tangled up when the month starts because that's the reset. Christina Ricci was Wednesday. I don't know what they're doing now with other people doing the part, but no. I'm going to be a grumpy old person and I'm going to be like, no, that's not, no. You can't, no, you're just imitating what they did. Stop it. I'm not going to be like that. I don't care. Reminder, I don't watch television. So anything that's happening in the series or television world on most platforms, I'm not privy to. Because I don't have the money. Although, I think Mama and Papa KillCo have Netflix. And maybe something else, but I don't remember what. We do have some streaming software stuff, but I can't use Netflix because they decided to be bastards about it. And we had Paramount. I don't know if we still do, so I'd watch the Star Trek stuff there. I was screaming down the hallway, lovely. Or... Can you hear it? It's a regular occurrence. And I want to blame the child, but I can't. It's the parents. Because they're the ones who decided that the screaming child would be best in the hallway. Sounds like an animal. Jenna Ortega is also awesome. You grumpy old man. I have a vague idea of who that is. If she's the new one, the recent one, because I can't keep track. Like I said, no television. I watch. I don't really watch any. I watch YouTube. That's my problem. There's so much on YouTube to get distracted by and get tugged into. My Achilles heel is reaction videos, especially for stuff I like. What was that? Oh, please. Oh, that song stuck in my head. You can't hear it? Good. I can hear it. It stopped now, but... god-awful noise. It screams parents don't know how to deal with children. in my brain. But I don't have kids, and I will never have kids, so I don't have to worry about that. It's just a frustrating, repetitive thing that they have this out-of-control child, and they just let it scream its head off in the hallways. Scream like bloody murder. It's to the point where it's like, what is happening? Should I be concerned? Should I call someone? Ugh. But it sounds like a tantrum. Is that what I would call it? They just scream their head off. You know what helps with that? More whiskey. It is repeal day after all. Oh, as I was saying, before we were so rudely interrupted by the freaking hallway, I am trying to keep a precise limit on my whiskey from here on out. Not that I haven't been, but it's been a little wishy-washy. Mainly because of the months I started. So the end of dry year, the end of dry year was in August. September got wild because I was gonna go cross country, of course, and drink with numerous people. So I had drinks with Amy. I had drinks with, well, everyone, anyone. Let's see, how many stops was there? 1, 2. Oh, I didn't have a drink on that one. Speaking of Pop KillCo, hi there. Schwelcome. I drank in September and I wasn't keeping track because it was the travel. I think I had in total I want to say 10 drinks total for that whole month, which was a lot. A lot of alcohol all of a sudden in my system. And I don't mean whiskey. I should say a few of those were beer and cider. So there was beer, there was cider, there was a little bit of whiskey. September basically didn't count. October, I was very careful. Only drank a little bit during the Bastards Ball and being down there. And then I had to be very careful because if I order a drink, thinking to myself, oh, it's just one drink, I'll be fine. And then realizing it's a fair amount of alcohol in said cocktail. So I have to get in the habit, if I order one, which is rare, to tell them to use half the amount of alcohol. Because they will still charge me the same amount. But I will be of the clear mindset that I know how much was in there and that I didn't overdo it. Speaking of not overdoing it, we're getting into a 66.8% private barrel, Elijah Craig, Irene Tanpick, because the end of Prohibition, Repeal Day, is today. And if you can think about it, at least what I've been doing, is trying to imagine in my mind what was happening on this day in 1933. Like the era and the moment where people were able to drink alcohol legally again. Legally being the key word there. It's a bit wild to me. Okay. Woo. I did that very well. That was intense. And now the half ounce. I feel like I'm like pouring cough medicine. I'm doing it very carefully. I'm like, no, only a little. This amount only. Yeah, I've been working on the book today, just for the record. I was just telling everyone about it. Trying to chop it up into chapters. I'm currently at the beginning of chapter 3, and I missed chapter 2, so I have to find chapter 2. Wee Barnes. There we go. That seems like a little less than last time. That's all right. Oh, lovely bourbon. Absolutely sweet. Rye was definitely cinnamon and sugar baked goods. As I said earlier, cinnamon rolls. There we go. This one's leaning into vanilla and borderline brownie. Cheers, everyone. Ow. That one's just as spicy as the other one because of the proof. Woo! I took a much bigger sip than I meant to. Habada. My tongue has been assaulted. But you know what doesn't happen? At that percentage, and I'm not being bothered. Not really. Considering the proof. I was bothered a little bit at the too big sip I just took. Other than that, we're good. Yeah, it's hard to imagine 1933, isn't it? That is a bygone era. Trying to think. Nope, don't like that thought. Ooh. I will be 53, should I live that long, which, well, we're assuming I will. I'll be 53, and that'll be 100 years since Prohibition ended. Hopefully I'll listen to that book by then. Mama KillCo's watch on TV. Excellent. Hi, Mom. How you feeling today, Dad? A little better than yesterday? Or is it still like crap for the few days? I believe you said it's a few days of like bulk. Papa KillCo got his chemo treatment and had it removed yesterday? Yeah. So he's going to feel like crap for a little while. And can't drink whiskey at the moment. Oof. What I was doing. Also, a reminder, there is a KillCo wish list down below. And I have everything pinned. It's okay, we're good. So happy holidays, you know. What I was thinking about, the reason I went to that direction, is I was thinking about camping next year. Because that's what this channel is going to do now. Go see the world. Go places, travel, drive, mainly drive. And hopefully talk to different people. Like, we still have to do a meetup with Four Leaf. That was put on hold because she was sick last time, so we'll see. Maybe in the spring. Maybe in March. Definitely not around her St. Patrick's Day stuff, because that would be a lot for her to handle. I know she does a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'd be on board, or if she'd want me around. We'll see. That's a question for Sunday. Or I could just message her and be like, hey, next year, St. Patrick's Day, what are you doing? I can drive there within 2 days. I'm saying that, and I am now going to check because I'm not sure how long it would take me. I'm pretty sure 2 days, though. Getting to Kentucky took a full day, basically, of driving. A huge amount of distance. And I am still, to this day, I don't know how I got from Kentucky to Rhode Island in 1 day, but I did. And it was rough. I was so happy to be home, though. I was happy and exhausted. And I felt all the adrenaline come out of me. It's like to the point I was shaking. Because I did the thing. I did the trip. I got back home. I got in my bed and I was done. Minutes before midnight. Reminder, minutes before midnight. But that sounds manageable. It still sucks. I'd have to sleep in my car one night. Yeah, 12 hours and 37 minutes, approximately. So that's 6 hours a day? No problem. It's easy. That's 3 2-hour drives with stops in between. And then I'd probably rest, or maybe just drive a little further the first day. That's probably what I would do. And then I'd be closer the day before, or the next day, and I could get there before the afternoon if I pushed it. That's not too bad. Remember when that felt like ridiculously far away? That's the biggest thing I can pull off. For myself, being a Rhode Islander, there was a point in time, and still is, where I think going 30 minutes away to get to the main city, to get to Providence, is too far to bother. It's just too far. It's too far. Yeah. And yet I will drive an hour plus to get to Irene's store and then drive back the same day. But driving to Providence is too much. It's a city. If I'm being very blunt, it's a city, and I don't like cities that much. They are highly unnatural places, and there are far too many people. That's it. Send me into the woods, and I'm all right. Send me into the city, and I feel like I'm in a cage. Cage with too many other people in it. Same goes for Boston. Boston's worse. Woof. It does sound like a hole. That's another thing we hope to do next year. We will go visit Canada. I don't know what I'll do there, but it's a thought. It's an option. I did hear that Canada might be getting rid of all their bourbon. I don't remember where I heard this, but rumor has it. And I would not be the least bit surprised if any other country right now is like, you know what, we're not going to have bourbon. We're not going to have American products here. You can keep it. Which is fine. The price of bourbon's about to go down in America, but also, ooh. Let's not get onto that. I'm just saying, this stuff is wild. And if there's more bourbon for us, great. We're going to need it. That's what I mean. Sugar kidding me out. That's for you. You can bring your time and attention here. Greatly appreciated. Yeah. Like, I have a passport. I need to use it before I have to renew it. The hope, there are things in the air about going to Scotland. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but there are things in the air. Specifically, whiskey somms from, whiskey sommeliers who went to Wizard Academy, did the process, and we have a little group on Discord. Meow on the TV, meow. Meow, meow to mom. But there is talks of next year a Scotland trip with a bunch of whiskey somms. So I'm not saying going would be a good idea, but we have to remember we are in a phase of my life where I'm putting things off is probably a bad idea. Because it's not going to cost any less in the future, and it's not going to be any easier to do in the future. So I can at least do it and say I did it, and then regret it, financially regret it, but I will not regret doing it. It's like I will not regret the money I spent and put on my credit card to do the whole cross-country trip, because it was worth it. I spent far too much money on garbage food at convenience stores and truck stops, but that's how it was. That's what you do when you're on the road. You don't particularly eat very well. But having the mini fridge helped tremendously. I didn't eat god-awful, but I got really tired of turkey sandwiches really fast. With that in mind, wowza. With that in mind, I definitely had a turkey sandwich for lunch today. Yeah. Happy birthday to your mom again. 90 years old. Fuck no. Everyone here, try to think of that. Picture yourselves at 90. It's horrifying, isn't it? Of course. So here's the thought process in my head for me, 90 years old. I have lived 45 years. That's been my whole life. I would be living my whole life again. That sounds like a lot I have in front of me. I'm 45. I have had a significant amount of time on planet Earth as an adult human being. Now, I'll say we'll go from 30 to 45. That's where it felt like I was an adult. And my 30s were bad. My 30s were very bad. I was on disability and miserable and medication wasn't working. And I was very, very cut off. So my 30s were not great. And I often think of those as like the 10 years of my life where depression just took them away. Rheumatic fever. That sounds like something from a long time ago. I'm glad she recovered. Yeah, I've already mentioned the whole little bit of a scare with my lineage. Papa KillCo knows. Papa KillCo is 79, so I'm shooting for 79. Well, apparently we're shooting for 90 now, which, ugh. And if you really want to feel like Dick Van Dyke, we can shoot for 100. Granted, every day that's going by right now, I'm like, please don't have him die before his 100th birthday. Please don't do that. That would be so sad. But with the way everything's leading up to it, whew, it sure feels like it. Like they're like trying to rush the birthdays. Like he's almost 100. It's right there. Any day now. He had a book come out too, which I have on my Spotify podcast audiobook list. So I'll be listening to that at some point. Maybe not on Spotify. Again, there's stuff going on. Grandma Tuna. That sounds about right. Goddamn, whiskey's good. Yowza. Yowza, I say. Ah. I would do it. That's a scary thought. Does she do a lot of cardio? I hope not, because cardio is wild, everyone. You're working your heart muscle. Also the rest of your body, but all you have to do are a certain number of squats to go like, wow, there sure is a lot of blood in my body, and I just decided to accordion it through my body. Watch what happens. Your heart rate goes up. Maybe we should do that. That's a terrible idea. Since I'm on a fitness binge, I can't even call it a binge. That's my lifestyle now. I'm trying to be physically at the peak, and right now I feel like I'm in the process of getting back to where I was because of the cross-country trip. Added a few extra pounds. So right now I'm in the process of getting that out of the way. Mom and Pop KillCo know because I didn't have any of their dessert last night. I'm sorry, yesterday afternoon. Yep, they got a chocolate cake and ate it right in front of me. I had a cappuccino. That was nice. There was a little sugar packet in it, so I guess that counted as my dessert. Cutting back on the sugars, everyone, as best I can. And it's a lot easier to do when I think of the numerous times that I have the treat yourself mentality and the desire for muffins and donuts. What else? Achilles heel. I got sugary drinks, lattes and stuff. You gotta be careful with that. What else? Romantic fever. That can be complicated. I'm trying to think of one time I was sick that was really bad. Oh, I can't. Time just flew. I thought I was going to be talking for another 15 minutes. It's 8 p.m., everyone. Once again, happy Repeal Day. I'll be back here on Sunday. And as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your attention here. And live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. I will see you out there. Special thanks to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.